With the NFL draft fastly approaching, I don't think it's too early to look at the top 10 head coaches that'll be on the hot seat next season. Let's talk football. Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. Sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are going over my top 10 NFL head coaches that will be on the hot seat in 2025 through 26 next season. But of course, I went over my top 10 quarterbacks that are under the most pressure and the top 10 players that are under the most pressure overall. If you want to go check that video out, be sure to go and I'll put those links down in the description below. But before we get started, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please make sure to do me a big favor and smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's get this party started. Starting us off at number 10, you got Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris. I believe this man is one of the people under the most pressure because of last season. This team was expected to be in the playoffs last year in the Atlanta Falcons. And instead, they had to settle for Kirk Cousins being one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL at that time. And then, for some weird reason, decided to play Michael Penix.
Whoa! I didn't know he was in this picture.
But if I'm the Falcons organization, you need to make the playoffs this year. You just got Leonard Floyd on the defensive side. You still got a draft pick that you can use. Hopefully not on the quarterback this time. And use it to get another pass rusher for your team. I'm looking at guys like Jalon Walker, maybe Mikael Williams, maybe James Pierce Jr. if available. But you have to nail this draft. And you have to make a playoff appearance. Because Raheem Morris's coaching job depends on it. That's why I have Raheem Morris coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski. You were the man that brought in Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL for a few years. He has been terrible. And you've only made the playoffs once, and that was with Joe Flacco. Now you got Kenny Pickett behind Deshaun Watson, and you have to make a playoff this time. You have to make the playoffs with Deshaun Watson. No other quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson or bust. You need to make a playoff with him. Because if you don't, we are going to look at this trade as the worst trade in NFL history because Deshaun Watson is clearly not that guy. So that's why I have Kevin Stefanski coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniel. You have the quarterback that cannot play in the dang cold every single second he gets out on the cold field. And you can't get past Buffalo. And they are the dominant threat to you. You need to make a playoff and get a playoff victory with Tua. You have had your chances. You have had your opportunities. When the division title was on the line, choked the bag, and you had to go on the road to the playoffs and play in the cold weather of Kansas City. You need to win a playoff game, and primarily Tua needs to win a playoff game because Mike McDaniels, I believe his coaching job is on the line because if they don't make the playoffs this year, you can kiss Mike McDaniels' job goodbye. And that is why I have Mike McDaniel at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Arizona Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon. You have the roster to get you to the playoffs. You have the roster that can get you there. You have Kyler Murray in that offense that can be relied upon. You just paid Trey McBride to be the highest paid tight end in the league ahead of Travis Kelce. And you just got Josh Sweat on the defensive side of the ball. You need to make a playoff appearance this time. Kyler Murray is one of the many quarterbacks in the NFL to win a playoff game. You need to win a playoff game. The whole reason you're there is to break the curse of Arizona. You need to win a playoff game, or else we're going to deem that season a failure because you need to win a playoff game, especially with the roster that you got in place right now. That's why Jonathan Gannon comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Cowboys coach, it's probably worst hiring in the NFL, Brian Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer, former OC of Seattle. You need to get this team back into relevancy. Do you know what your team is projected to be right now? Last place of the NFC East.
He's right.
Oh my! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, now you die.
That's what you are projected to be right now. You were brought on by J.R. Jones, which I believe was a poor decision. I still believe Dion should have been the coach. But you need to revive this team in relevancy. Because I'm looking at the Cowboys right now. You just got Joe Milton. That's not that big of a move. You need to go out there and get some other guys. You need to be actually all in this time. You actually got to be all in. That's what you got to be right now. But when you come out and Dak Prescott was the main reason you got hired as a coach. Dak Prescott's the main reason. So if you're gonna go into this coaching hire, you need to get at least to the playoffs. And that's why I have Brian Schottenheimer at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh. Jimmy Jim. You have to get this team to a playoff victory. Justin Herbert's one of the many quarterbacks, as I mentioned earlier, to not make a playoff, to get a playoff win with Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, and also along with Geno Smith. You need to win a playoff game. You have to. The whole reason they brought you into this place was to win playoff games. You have to win a playoff game this year, Jim Harbaugh. You got the team that can get you there, but you got to get the job done. You have to win a playoff game if you're gonna give the fan base some hope. Which is why I have Jim Harbaugh at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn. You left Detroit for the swamp in the New York Jets.
Oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm going to have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
You left them for the swamp. If you are going to show, and I know this is year 1 for you, but you still got a lot of pressure on your shoulders because this is a team that has not sniffed the playoffs in nearly a decade, you need to get to the playoffs this year. You have a man by Justin Fields, who is a decently good quarterback, and you got the defense that can get you there. You need to show that you can make a playoffs because that is what the Jets fans are looking for. That's what the Jets fans have been wanting for years. You need to get them to the playoffs this year, or you can get that job goodbye, and you can be one and done as head coach. Which is why I have Aaron Glenn as number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Sean McVay. Sean McVay. I know this man's a Super Bowl champion, but he with this roster, you got to get at least to the NFC Championship game. You need to get at least to the Super Bowl because you have a team right now that can get you to the Super Bowl. And you were the man that pushed out Cooper Kupp out the front door.
This isn't over, Prime.
And now you got to deal with him in Seattle. That's what I know. You have to show up. You need to make another Super Bowl because you can never be satisfied with just one. You got to have more than that. So, Sean McVay, you got the defense that can get you there, and you have the offensive scheme that can get you there also, which is why I have Sean McVay as the third most pressured head coach in the NFL. Coming in at number 2 is Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. Tomlin, you decided to bring in Mason Rudolph, and now you're starting to try to bring in Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what are you doing? You traded for DK Metcalf, and now you're looking to not have that relevant quarterback that y'all been looking for about 4 years. Y'all have not been relevant in like 9 to 10 years. That's what I know. You haven't won a playoff game in 8 to 9 years. And when I look at the Steelers, you have to win a playoff game at least. You have to get to the win a playoff game. Because if you can't win a playoff game, Steelers fans are going to want you out that front door. Because even though you've had lots of 500 seasons and you have yet to have a losing season, if you can't win a playoff game, it's not going to matter in the end. You need to get this team to a playoff victory. You got the defense that can get you there as always, but you don't have the offensive scheme. You have to get a franchise guy. But that's why I have Mike Tomlin as the number 2 most pressured head coach. At number 1, the most pressured head coach in the National Football League is Mr. Kyle Shanahan. Kyle, your father is disappointed in you right now. You've been to 3 Super Bowls, and none of them you've come back with one. Your father, your daddy, is right now disappointed in you because you haven't been able to do something that he could, win a Super Bowl. You've had the opportunity multiple times, and now you decide to release half of your roster. Half of the roster that got you to the Super Bowl in the first place, half of that roster that was out with injuries and you decided to let them go because, we want to get younger. Well, who are you going to replace those guys with?
I'm sorry.
Who are you going to replace those guys with? I'm just asking a simple question. When you have Christian McCaffrey, he's old. He's washed. He's probably not going to be the same after that injury. And I'm looking at other guys. Why in the world would you let go of your second leading pass rusher and sack leader? Why in the world did you do that? You are on the most pressure this season because not only is your division stronger, but you also have to deal with the rest of the NFC. You got to deal with the North. You got to deal with the Eagles. You got to deal with the Commanders. You got to deal with the Bucks, and possibly your entire division. In Seattle, we'll see what happens there. But my point is to you, Kyle Shanahan, Mr. 28-3. At some point, you have to close the deal. Every time you've been in the Super Bowl is because you've coached scared. You have coached scared. You can never finish the job when it matters the most. You were scared when you were facing Tom Brady, and I don't blame you. Tom Brady's a scary brother. And you were coaching scared when you went against Patty Mahomes, when you created the legend of the Chiefs. In Super Bowl 54, Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew a man, and Emmanuel Sanders lost them the game. And then Brock Purdy had 2 chances, 35 ball situations, overthrew Deebo Samuel and Juwan Jennings. You have to stop coaching scared. You need to man up. You need to man up. Like my grandma would always say, either man up or shut up. Because you are not a worthy head coach right now. Now, I'm not saying you don't deserve to be a head coach. I'm not saying that at all. You definitely deserve to be a head coach. But at some point, you got to close the deal. You are being highlighted as one of the best offensive-minded coaches that we've seen in recent history. You've had 2 Hall of Fame caliber rosters. And do you know how many Super Bowls you have to show for that? 0. 0. Nada. A big hole in a donut. That is what I'm looking at. When you are Kyle Shanahan, when you're a coach of the 49ers, one thing you're supposed to do, bring home the championship. That is what you're supposed to do. And y'all haven't done that since Steve Young was your quarterback. Last time y'all won a Super Bowl, my dad probably wore an afro during that time. And Mark Lerner probably had an afro too. And the Cowboys hold a better record and hold a much more a better drought than you do right now. The Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys that have not been in the NFC title game since 1996. And the last time you won a Super Bowl was 1995. That is how long ago it was. And it's Shanahan. You are Mr. 28-3. You are the man always known for giving up the 10-point leads. As a matter of fact, when you get to the Super Bowl, you become so predictable. I even predicted the result of that Super Bowl. I said that Kyle Shanahan and the Niners were going to get the lead in the first half against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 58. And then I said that they would lose the lead because it's who Shanahan is. He coaches scared. He coaches like all his bones are jiggling all over the place. Like his bones are shivering like, oh, what am I supposed to do in this situation? Well, you gotta man up. You got to man up. And you know that old saying, just do it. Just do it. You have to close the deal, Shanahan. You're being highlighted as one of the best head coaches that could never get it done. Do you know what room they'll put you in if you lose one more Super Bowl? Marv Levy, Bud Grant. 0-4 in the Super Bowl, those 2 are. And there's one other one, I can't remember his name at the moment. But if you lose another Super Bowl, or not even make the playoffs entirely, then you are out of San Francisco. And that is why I have Kyle Shanahan at number 1. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you guys think is the most pressured head coach? Was there a coach on here that I missed? Or was there one that you agreed with? Let me know which coach you think should be on this list. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now.